On this episode of Road Trip Angler, we're headed to Corpus Christi, Texas. We're gonna hook up with Dustin Nichols and Bill Batson from Batson Enterprises and fish for some redfish and trout. Woo! First fish off the gnar. Nice one. Sweet.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, my. Fish on. Oh, hard break.
There he is right there.
Woo. In the net, boys.
Road Trip Angler in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Topwater trout action. I like it.
Yeah, I'm about to hit the state line. Yeah, we travel like a freight line. Drop the kayak in and drop a bait down. We make it easier than 1, 2, 3. You want the tips, want the tricks with the ones to see. Ooh-wee! Come on. Cause everybody wants to fish, but can't nobody make the trips. But don't trip, cause we gon' make it when you can't miss out. Road Trip Angler, only thing we need is a route, no doubt.
Kayak fishing for me has always been about being able to take my kayak and go really anywhere, whether it's saltwater, freshwater, offshore. There's no limit to where it can take me. So that led to me throwing it in the back of my truck and just traveling the country. Getting down here was an adventure in itself. We have the brand new Jackson Kayak Gnars, and this is the first time they've ever been on the water. So I had to drive from my house to the Jackson Kayak factory in Tennessee, load them up, and drove through the night to get here to Corpus Christi to meet the rest of the crew. Met up with Dustin Nichols this morning and Bill from Team Rain Shadow, and we're gonna hit the water here just south of Corpus Christi between it and Port Aransas. I'm super pumped this morning because this is the first time that we have the Gnars out on the water. So we're gonna be testing the new drive and the new boat for the very first time. Dustin actually beat me to the water, so I'm a little jealous that he's already out there experiencing what we've been working so hard on, but I really feel good about this boat, and this is a great area to try it out for the first time. Should be cool. Dustin, my feet got wet. Uh-oh.
We're here on the middle Texas coast, the Port Aransas area. We're heading to fish some flats, in secluded coves. We're gonna get behind some of these islands on the leeward side and try to target some redfish and speckled trout. The water clarity's a little off. Got a little overcast sky, so it's gonna make it tough to sight cast, so we'll be doing a lot of blind casting, just trying to pick up a few fish here in the scattered potholes.
A little windy out here today, so we're kind of heading towards this wind-blown bank, and we've seen some birds diving on that bank as well. And I think what happens is the bait gets kind of pushed to that bank, and the fish should stack up over there to kind of have it brought to them, you know, like a conveyor belt. It's hard sometimes to fish a wind-blown bank from a kayak, but the pedal drive definitely makes that a lot easier. One of the really cool things about being able to come out here with Dustin is this boat was kind of the brainchild of a lot of the team that came together to work out what we wanted in a boat. I was excited to come here first with these boats and share it with somebody that was a part of that.
Now if we just put some fish in this thing. Oh, there's a fish right there.
I just cast right there, you know that, right?
I saw a wake, I was like, oh, that looks like a fish.
On this episode of Messing with Dustin.
First impressions of the Gnar was just, I was blown away by the clean lines of that boat. I just knew that boat was just gonna cut through the water with ease. Being part of the developmental team of that boat, I was really proud to see some of the stuff that I had suggested that I had input on. I mean, everything you could want to rig your boat a certain way. Your bow mount motor bracket, your Torqeedo ready, there's internal battery storage, the room between the seat with the new high-low positioning. The vastness of the deck is what really caught my eye the most, because as a tournament angler, you have room to move, you have room to stand, you have internal room to store your rods, and that's just a big plus to me.
Man, that boat is sexy on the water, man. Now if we could just get some slime on them.
Yep.
I was gonna say redfish slime, but then I was like, I don't want to be that picky. Like, it could be any fish slime.
Could be anything.
Like if a mullet just wants to jump in the boat right now just so we can say that was the first fish on a Gnar, I'd be fine with that. Well, pro tip for you, you just reach down, hit the pedal with your hand, gain a few feet.
I'd say if anywhere we're gonna catch some fish, it'd be right there.
Woo! First fish off the Gnar. I think we have a winner. He come up on this flat, and actually Dustin saw a couple of nice reds right off the bat, so we know we're around them, and sure enough, we're just kind of blind casting. It's great to get that first fish on the trip, but also the first fish out of this boat. Dustin showing us how it's done.
God dang, smoked it. I was like, why is my line moving? There we go. Road Trip Angler here in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Dustin is the team lead for the South for Jackson Kayak. Coming to his home water and knowing how fishy that guy is, of course, he put us on fish.
This fishery down here in Corpus Christi, Port Aransas area is known for its vast grass flats.
There's so much water, and then you realize that it's all really shallow water. And when I say shallow water, deep here is like 3 to 6 feet. And it's just a very healthy environment for great fishing. Nice one.
Nice flats speckled trout, probably about 18 inches or so. Beautiful fish. Look at the spots on that thing. We're gonna let her go. Bye-bye, thank you very much.
Bill Batson from Batson Enterprises and Team Rain Shadow has been a friend of mine for probably close to 10 years. I've always wanted to get Bill out in a kayak so that he could see what it is that's different about kayak fishing versus really any other style of fishing. He's a great angler, so got in the kayak, and I'm telling you, he made it look like he'd been doing it forever.
And now I got myself a little rat red. Look, got a little spot on it. It's a strong fishery down here. This is all catch and release as far as I'm concerned. And nice little rat red. Right on. There you go, buddy. Woo!
I'm curious that if you were to go tomorrow and build a rod for yourself in the kayak, what would you do different than what you typically do?
Typically, I like longer handles for castability, but I can see why you want to have a shorter handle, because you're sitting down and you're casting, and I can see why you'd want a more moderate rod, because you're not going to break your rod on a high stick. Because I'm new at this, right? So I don't really know how to do the kayak. So I have my arms behind my head, and I'm doing one of these, trying to get it around my other rods.
No, that's the chaos right there.
That's part of the fun, though, right?
You don't, have the room you would have in a big boat. So
exactly.
Keeping the kayak organized and stuff can sometimes be a challenge.
Sweet.
That's awesome, dude.
My brand is a family brand that we've had for 43 years, Batson Enterprises. We sell rain shadow rod blanks, Alps components, and forecast components. We are the largest distributor in the United States. Anybody who builds a fishing rod or is in the fishing rod industry buys something from Batson. So why go custom? People ask me that question all the time. Why go custom, Bill? Nothing against production rods. There's a lot of good production rod companies out there, but they cannot make a rod specifically for you. You get the lengths you want, you get the colors you want, you can spiral wrap it, you can do almost anything. And it's an extension of the whole fishing lifestyle. You take care of your boats, you always clean your reels, you make sure your hooks aren't rusted on your lures. I mean, why not have an awesome custom rod that you built? The satisfaction of catching a fish on a rod that you built, it can't be beaten. Beautiful fish. Got it on the Rain Shadow, the Immortal, IMMS 610 MXF. Gold spoon.
I'm going to throw that top water on a medium heavy Rain Shadow Judge. I like a little bit softer tip when I'm fishing for trout, and this has a bit more moderate action so it doesn't pull that hook out of their mouth and rip them, because they have really soft mouths. So when I have that heavy spook on there with the treble hooks, I feel like I keep them hooked up a lot better with the moderate action on the rod. I really, really want a trout right now, because Bill and Dustin have both caught nice trout. And it's been a while since I caught a trout. Texas is big trout country. It's known for giant trout. Oh, I knew it. So I just bombed one like super far, and that gives them a lot of time to figure out how to get off the hook, especially if it's a trout and it has that soft mouth. But that's where this softer judge rod comes in, and it is a trout. In the net, boys. Yeah. Sweet. Topwater trout action in Texas. I like it. My first time fishing this area, so it's awesome to come out here very first day in a brand new boat that I've never fished out of, and fish an area that I've never had the opportunity to fish. And so far, I mean, we've had a pretty decent day. We've got trout, we've got reds. What more could you ask for? Such a beautiful fish with all the spots. Get her back in the water. Trout slime is like a unique fish slime. It stays with you for about 3 days, and you cannot get it off.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something.
I have always heard Roy's Bait and Tackle was just like one of the most impressive tackle shops in the country, and I've always wanted to check it out. When this trip came together, I was super excited. Number one, to fish down here in this area, but number two, to spend some money at Roy's. Roy himself was there, and we got an opportunity to sit down with him, and just hearing the story made it even better. He started off just building rods for people locally, and then going all the way from that to where they are now with a huge selection of kayaks, a huge selection of tackle and clothing and everything else. It's a success story, and the fact that they're still family owned and operated, it's what great shops are made of, and they're doing a great job. So we're here in the kayak shed behind Roy's Bait and Tackle, and it's pretty cool that I get to sit down with Roy, who founded the shop. And what do you think makes your shop the best fishing store?
We offer custom rods. If a customer comes in and wants one to his specifications as far as colors, the handle size, you know, where he's comfortable with it.
So if someone's never been to your store before, what should they expect when they walk in the door? Good
service, friendly people, knowledgeable people, and that are very helpful. It's not like going to the box store, you don't see anybody and somebody's gonna help you out.
The amount of inventory that Roy's has is literally unmatched. I have never seen anything like it. It was dangerous. I had to really watch myself as I walked around the store. If I could have a shopping spree, I think that would be the place I would choose to utilize that shopping spree. It's the good stuff right there. Here in Corpus Christi, just down the road from Roy's Bait and Tackle. And we're gonna launch out here on these big grass flats and fish in these sand pockets for some of the redfish and trout that like to hang out in them.
We're gonna follow along these crash channels along these islands here, these spoil banks that are kind of like bird sanctuaries. The wind is dropping all day, so I think we'll be good to go. And then the pressure is gonna stabilize. Hopefully the bottle turn on. Yeah, I'm just taking this paddle tail and throwing it to the edge of these deeper cuts out here, and then just slow rolling it back and letting the action of that tail and that wobble hopefully draw that fish in. The water is a little sandy today with the wind we've had, so the clarity is a little bit off from what it usually is. This bait with that little bit of silver sparkle in it is gonna be seen in the water. That tail gets to kicking. That's why it's called a kickback shad. It's got a good swagger. You can call it swagger. Oh, there he is right there. Fish on. Oh, it's a good one. Don't get in that grass, boy. Don't get in that grass. There we go. There we go. On the board this morning. That will work right there. Look at that. Woo, man. That's what I'm talking about. Get him released and let him swim to grow some more. It's probably about 24 or 25 inches. Nice fish. Woo. Bye-bye, buddy. Thank you.
Fish on. Oh, come on.
Slow it down a little bit, Jameson.
This afternoon, the bite is still a little bit slow. The pressure is dropping, Dustin said. I haven't looked at it, but the wind has calmed down a whole lot, so I've just been kind of working paddle tail on the bottom, kind of slow, and one picked it up. I don't know if you call it a pattern. It was one fish. Dustin actually got one on top, which is kind of the opposite of what I'm doing. But I'm gonna keep trying it in these potholes out here and see if I can get another one.
Woo. Oh yeah, buddy. There you go.
It's a nice little trout. Oh, why you gotta do that? He's like pooping in my boat. That was weird. It's always been really important to me to help try and educate people that are getting into kayak fishing for the first time. Most people are typically anglers and not kayakers. And so it's a big deal to learn a few things to help you stay safe out there and more comfortable on the water. And one of the things I see a lot is people do have their life jacket and they're either A, not wearing it, or B, they don't have it properly fitted. So let me share that tip with you right now, and this tip is presented by NRS. Where you want to start, obviously, is if your life jacket has a buckle here at the bottom, I'm gonna clip that first, and then I'm gonna zip it up. Okay, so now you can see if I went in the water, this is just gonna come right up over my head. Plus, if I'm sitting in the kayak, it's gonna ride up on me. So you wanna start here at the bottom and grab both sides at the same time at the very lowest strap, and just cinch both of those down evenly on each side, nice and tight. Move up to the next strap and cinch those down as well. Now you can see that it's already fitting a lot tighter. And the last thing that I need to do is just loosely tighten these straps down a little bit. You don't want these super cinched down because if it's too tight, the PFD is going to want to ride up on you. So you just want that kind of touching your shoulder. But ideally when you move, this moves with you versus this staying straight and you moving inside of it. That's going to keep you a lot more comfortable out on the water and a whole lot safer.
Locating the fish is tough on the flats at times because you really do need sunlight to see the potholes, so the overcast skies definitely made it a challenge.
Where are you going now?
So we're gonna fish this deep cut on the edge of this island.
But I just got here.
It's always a pleasure to get on the water with Jameson. There's always some laughs involved and just all around good time.
I'm gonna kind of work towards the islands where those houses are at. Love Shack, baby!
Everybody's moving, baby.
Folks lining up outside just to get down.
Sure enough, after we kind of looped around the island for a few minutes and came back, the trout bite turned on, and I mean, it was just one right after the other. Starting to get a little pattern figured out here. They're not big fish, but you know what? I'll take them. Catching those trout, while they weren't massive trout, like when you think about Texas and you want to come down and catch those 30 inches, they weren't that. They were trout, and I caught a lot of them. But what I want to say about these fish, and the reason they get to be 30 inches, is these were the fattest trout that I think I have ever seen in my life. There's so much area for these fish to live out here in this grass that they're able to eat healthy and get fat like that and grow and become those big mamas. Bye.
The upper Laguna Madre area that we're here around Corpus Christi, this area is just so vast with so many places to fish. There's multiple grass flats, there's multiple crash channels and islands and spoil banks. Just so much water. And sometimes it can be overwhelming trying to pick a spot, but you know, you reap the benefits when you pick the right place.
Fish on. Better trout. Oh, hard break. Oh man, that was a better one. Good grief. How in the world a fish can hit a lure with 2 treble hooks on it and not get one in its mouth, I don't know. I can't even touch it without getting one in my hand. Got that one. Oh yeah, this is a little bit nicer one here. Beautiful fish. Man, they're so thick. Oh. And that's, my friends, why I don't like fishing with treble hooks and trout. They're so slippery. I don't even know how to deal with this.
As the sun starts to set, it's kind of hard to see the sand pockets. I will live and die with a topwater in my hand. God dang it. Ah! He was there. He was there. How did they miss 2 treble hooks in the mouth? Thought for sure, right at sunset, last hour, daylight, we'd get a, there he is, there he is, there he is right there. How about that for timing?
Being close to the action in a kayak is just amazing. It's when you least expect it, then the rod about gets yanked out your hand when you get a solid bite. And it's just an overwhelming feeling when you finally get those good ones in the boat.
There we go. Nice redfish right there. Look at that beautiful fish. Flats fishing in December. Can't beat that. Bye-bye, buddy. Thanks for the fun. I appreciate that. Oh, man, I'm just exhilarated. Pull off another fish after losing that one and just wrap up the day with a solid catch. Who can't love fishing and being this close to the action in these plastic boats? I mean, it's just amazing. Can't beat it.
I've really had a great time down here in Texas fishing with Bill and Dustin, exploring the area and checking out all the different fisheries. And that's what it's all about, road tripping, meeting up with friends, and checking out places like Roy's Bait and Tackle. But I got to go explore some new areas. It's time to hit the road.